Hey everybody, Mr. O here with week 4 daily geography. This one is called Antarctica, a map, grid, and index. And so let's talk about indexes for just a second. Some maps, including this one, have lines on them, and these are not latitude or longitude lines. These lines are forming a pattern called a grid, and a grid is a pattern of lines that does form squares. And we can kind of see this on the map. We can see a square right here, and we can see that we've got numbers across the top, and we've got letters down the side. And on this map, that's the way it is. On some maps, you'll see that the reverse is true, where the numbers might run across the side there, or down the side, and the numbers might be across the top. But we use grids so that we can help to locate specific things very easily. So let's take a look at this for just a second. The map in general, we have, again, our title at the top. I do have my legend at the bottom, and I can see that it shows me a few things that I'll probably need to see and use. And let's kind of get into this. So Monday number 1, what is the grid location of Vinson Massif, the highest peak in Antarctica? And so it's asking for a grid location. I need to locate Vinson Massif, and I do right there, and I need to determine the grid. And so it's very simple. I just simply come over here from the side and down from the top. It's in this box, so this is D, that is 2, and so my answer is going to be D2. It's okay if you put 2D, but I'd prefer if you put the letter first. So D2, pretty simple. So I've actually given you the answer to the first one and how to use the grid. As we go through this, you'll just simply do the same thing for any of these. So if we're talking about Elephant Island, for example, and it asks you what grid box it's in, we would simply say B and 1 because we put the 2 together. 1 comes from the side, B, 1 comes from the top, 1, and that little box is labeled as B1. So don't make it more complicated than that. For Monday number 2, which island is located in grid squares C1 and C2? So I just have to find C1, which would be right here, and C2, which would be right here, So I've got C1 here and C2 right there. And what I need to do is answer the question, which island is located there? So I'm just looking for the name of an island. Tuesday number 1, which sea is located at F3? So again, I locate F and I locate 3, and I can see that the Ross Sea is located at F3. The second part says, which sound is part of this sea? And a sound is also a body of water. So I'm looking around the Ross Sea for a sound, and I can see that I've got a sound name right over there, so that's probably going to be the answer that I'm looking for the second part of Tuesday number 2. Tuesday number 1. Tuesday number 2, in which grid squares is the Amery ice shelf located? So I'm seeing the Amery ice shelf right here. I just need to put down which squares it's in. Gives me a little hint that it will be more than one grid square, so I need to have more than one grid square as the answer. Wednesday number 1, the Transantarctic mountains are located in how many grid squares? So you find the Transantarctic mountains, and they run this way, and you simply count up how many boxes or how many grid squares they're in, and you put that down for your answer. Wednesday number 2, West Antarctica is bordered by which seas? So I find the label that says West Antarctica, and I need to see what I need to see how many it's bordered by in terms of seas. So Wednesday, a quick hint for you, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers, and all of them are going to be seas. So your hint for Wednesday number 2, you should have the name of 4 seas. Thursday number 1, which 2 ice shelves are the largest in Antarctica? Well, in order to do this, I'm going to have to check the legend and see what the symbol is for the ice shelf. And then I can just simply look up at the top and eyeball it. I don't have a scale. I'm not going to be able to measure. So I'm just going to have to eyeball the 2 that are the largest and then put those 2 names down. Thursday number 2, geographers have renamed the ocean that borders Antarctica the Southern Ocean. Which oceans make up the Southern Ocean? And if I'm kind of looking at this, it's difficult for me to maybe know for sure, although I could probably figure it out. But I also see this little note that says the southern parts of the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific are often referred to as the Southern Ocean. So if I'm just using my information on the map and I'm making sure I'm looking at more than just the map itself, I'm also looking at the little boxes that have items written into it, I can get my answer right from there. Friday number 1, mountains separate East and West Antarctica. Which region is larger? And that's asking you, is East Antarctica or West Antarctica larger? So you can eyeball that and give me the answer. How does the map grid help in knowing the size of a land area? So I said eyeball, but you can also use the grid or the boxes and tell me how that's going to help. I don't want to give you too much of a hint here because I'll probably end up giving you the answer, but how do the boxes or the grids help you to know whether or not East Antarctica or West Antarctica is bigger? So that's Friday number 1. Friday number 2, the explorer Shackleton and his crew were stranded on Elephant Island. Elephant Island is located in which sea and in which grid square? We actually talked about this right off the top. We see Elephant Island here, and we already said that it was in B1, so part of the answer is given to you just from this video. But there are 2 parts. It also asked which sea is Elephant Island located in. And so you just look around Elephant Island and you can easily see the sea. That's it. I hope this information helps. I'm seeing scores go up for the most part on the daily geographies, which is great. And I think that most of you are taking the time to watch these, and that's helping a lot. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.